Today we take a look at the GH5's slow motion video capability. Firstly, the image quality in comparison to Sony A6300's 120 frames per second. Here I shot 120 frames per second on GH5 as well and cropped in 200%. As you can see, the details is much better on the GH5 than the A6300. You can read the price on the little blackboards much more clearly from GH5 than A6300. No amount of post-sharpening can fix that, trust me, I've tried. Now let's also take a look at the 180 frames per second video quality from GH5. If you look closely, you will notice more noise and pixelation and less details, yet still you can make out the price on the sign a little bit better than the A6300. And here's a regular 1080p 24 frames at 200% crop from GH5 for comparison. To shoot super slow motion on the GH5, you need to enable variable frame rate function in movie mode. You will lose autofocus as well as audio recording, which is a shame but not really often necessary for slow motion footage, which most commonly served as B-roll that will be voiced over anyway. Obviously, you can just shoot normal 1080p or 4K at 60 frames per second without going into variable frame rates so that you don't lose autofocus or sound recording, and they have amazing image quality. The Sony A6300, on the other hand, is much easier to handle. You don't have to enter any special mode. Just switch the recording format to 1080p 120 frames per second and you are all set. Autofocus and sound recording are both present in A6300, which is neat. If you separate the subject from background in slow motion video, the footage can still look really clean. If you shoot landscape kind of slow motion, then you will notice the image quality declines in 180 frames per second as shown here. I added a lot of sharpening in post for these clips. When combining high frame rate and digital zoom, obviously the image quality is completely falling apart. Be sure to avoid that in serious projects. Slow motion video really allows you to add a touch of magic to whatever subject you are shooting, no matter it is people or landscape. It smooths out the jittering and the shaking and make the motion of the camera look more natural. That's why I love shooting in 4K 60p. I don't often use variable frame rate mode, but it does give you more creative freedom.